It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. You feel like you're behind, don't you? Behind in life, behind in success, behind in everything you thought you'd have by now. Maybe you're sitting there watching the world fly past you. Everyone's making moves. They're achieving, upgrading, growing. And you're still trying to get traction, still trying to figure it out, still trying to get through the damn week without collapsing. And maybe, just maybe, you're starting to think, I'm not moving fast enough. I'm falling too far behind. What's the point? You scroll through timelines that show wins, not wounds. You see people younger than you doing things you dream of. You start questioning your value, your timeline, your entire identity. You start wondering if maybe you're just not built for this, that maybe your moment passed, that maybe the world has no room left for late bloomers. But that voice, that doubt whispering in your ear, it's not truth, it's fear. And fear is a liar that feeds on comparison, that thrives in silence, that grows when you mistake delay for defeat. But let me say this as loud as I can, you are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, to become who you are meant to become. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. You hear me? It doesn't matter if you crawl, it doesn't matter if you limp, it doesn't matter if today you barely made it out of bed. All that matters is that you're still here, still breathing, still fighting. That's what this life is about. Not perfection, not speed, but resilience. Staying in motion, no matter how heavy the weight on your shoulders feels. Because movement is life, momentum is power, and you gain strength not by running fast, but by refusing to lie down. When you decide to keep going despite the pain, the slowness, the setbacks, that's when the transformation begins. That's when grit becomes growth. That's when suffering becomes substance. That's when identity stops being based on results and starts being built on resolve. You're not defined by how fast you go. You're defined by how relentlessly you move forward, even when nobody's watching, even when your wins are invisible, even when your voice is trembling and your faith is paper thin. Especially then, because if you can keep going in the dark, there's nothing that can stop you when the light returns. Nothing. Because you know what the world won't tell you? That the people who win in the end, they're not always the fastest. They're just the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who took the punches, swallowed the doubts, and kept putting one foot in front of the other. They're the ones who stayed in the arena when everyone else walked away. Not because they had to, but because they couldn't imagine walking away from something they still believed in, even if that belief was barely holding together, even if the progress was agonizingly slow, even if it took years just to move inches. The winners are the ones who stop measuring distance and start measuring direction. Because every inch forward matters, every drop of sweat counts, every moment of pain is a deposit into your future, and every second you choose to keep going, that's 1 second closer to a life you haven't seen yet. But it's waiting for you. And if you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. You've been conditioned to compare, to look sideways, to measure your timeline against someone else's. That's what this world does. It sells you highlight reels and quick wins. It makes you believe that if you're not successful right now, you're failing. But that's a lie. There is no deadline on becoming who you're meant to be. Let that sink in. No expiration date on potential. No stopwatch on growth. You don't have to bloom on someone else's schedule. You don't have to rise in the same season as them. Because your story is yours, and it's not meant to be rushed. It's meant to be built, layer by layer, day by day, choice by choice. And slow is sacred. Slow builds deep roots. Slow forges unshakable foundations. Slow teaches you to listen to yourself when the noise of the world gets too loud. Slow is where the real work happens. And that's where your power lies. The illusion of overnight success, it's just that, an illusion. Every person you look up to, every name you admire, every legacy you study, dig deeper, and you'll find years of slow, quiet, unglamorous work. You don't see the nights they cried alone, the days they almost gave up, the sacrifices that nearly broke them, because success isn't a moment, it's 1,000 invisible moments, built brick by brick, with patience, with grit, with belief when no one else sees the vision. Every story you celebrate began with someone nobody believed in, someone who doubted themselves, someone who went unnoticed for far too long. But they kept showing up, they kept pushing forward, and they built something real, because while the world praises speed, life rewards consistency. And when you stay in the game long enough, the game changes for you. Always. And that's what I'm talking to you about today. Not hype, not motivation that wears off in a few hours, but something real. The kind of fire that stays burning long after the spotlight fades. The kind of discipline that doesn't rely on applause. The kind of drive that survives silence. I'm talking about soul work. About digging in when everything around you says give up. About trusting that the smallest step still matters. That each day you choose not to stop is a victory over the version of you that almost did. And that matters. Because in the end, the only real failure is giving up on yourself. Everything else? Just a detour, just data, just training. You want to be great? Start by learning to endure, to stay, to go slow, but never stop. That's where your legacy begins. Let me tell you something. You're out here trying to heal from things no one even knows you've been through, trying to unlearn trauma, trying to believe in yourself again, trying to rebuild your self-worth, trying to chase a dream in a world that tells you to be realistic. And every day you choose to show up anyway, that's power. That's strength most people will never understand. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your story already proves you're still in the fight. So stop beating yourself up for not being further. Celebrate the fact that you're still here, still showing up, still choosing to believe, even on the days belief feels like fiction. Your pain has purpose. Your delays are developing you. Your struggle is shaping you into someone unstoppable. So hold your head high, even when you're crawling, because forward is forward, and your fight, that's what makes you unforgettable. Now I want to challenge you. What's your excuse? What story have you been telling yourself to explain away your hesitation? I'm too late. I'm too broken. I don't have enough talent. I failed too much. Those are not facts. They're fears. And fears only grow when we stop moving. But you've got a choice. You can let fear write your story. Or you can take the pen back and write something no one saw coming. Because you're not done. You're not disqualified. You're not too far gone. You're one decision away from forward. One step away from your breakthrough. So the only real question is, will you keep going? So as you walk away from this video, don't rush. Don't panic. Don't compare. Just promise yourself one thing. You won't stop. You'll take one more step. Send one more email. Try one more time. Wake up one more day. And then another. And another. Until one day, you look back and realize you didn't just make it. You built it slowly, powerfully, unstoppably. And they'll ask you one day how you did it. And you'll say, I just never stopped. So before you go, I want you to pause for a second, really pause. Sit with this question. What's the moment you almost stopped? Think about it. Was it after a loss, a rejection, a heartbreak? Was it when the world told you you weren't enough? Was it when no one clapped for you, no one believed in you, and you thought, this is it, I'm done? But somehow you didn't stop, you kept going. And maybe you've never told anyone that story, but I want to hear it. We want to hear it because your fight, your journey, it's part of something so much bigger. You might not see it yet, but your story might be the very thing that helps someone else keep going. So tell me in the comments, what was your slow season? What was your hardest moment? And how did you survive it? Write it, type it, let it out. Let this space become more than a video. Let it become a movement, a place where people who haven't made it yet come together. To be real, to be raw, to remind each other that moving slowly is still progress, that we don't need perfection, we just need perseverance. So go ahead, drop your story below. And if you see someone else's comment that hits your heart, reply, uplift them, remind them they're not alone. And if today you're struggling to even write anything, just comment this, I'm still going. That's it. That's the fire. That's the power. That's the entire point. Because when 1,000 voices rise together and say, I'm still going, we don't just survive, we rise together.